Okay, good evening once again, everybody, and welcome to another Cycling Time Trials Evening 10. It's on the V718 course, which is out South Cave Hull Way in England, and it's the UK's fastest 10 course. Now, last week's winner, Rob Stone, came in just over 22 minutes, 22:03. So that's the standard that we can expect. I don't know if Rob's in the race tonight, but I would expect a 22 to win it again tonight, and there'll be a couple of 23s, I imagine, as well. But short 22 is probably going to take the top prize, and then we'll see how the rest do. We have currently 39 riders signed up. We're starting in 7 minutes, so there's plenty of time for more riders to come to the start line. And the format is it starts every 10 seconds a rider goes off. Now, you see from the video that my time trial starts in 13 minutes. The mistake I made last week was thinking that that was the time of the event, but it's not. That's because I've arrived later than the first people on the start line, and the event starts promptly at 1900 GMT, 2000 CET, so in 6 minutes' time for the first rider off, and then for me it starts in 12 minutes. So I need to get on the bike. I'm not actually taking part in the event. What happens here is because I'm using the spectate mode, I actually have to be a competitor. And so I have to jump on the bike, pedal a few revolutions, check my power and cadence are showing. Then I can get off the bike and continue with my commentary. At some point in time, maybe that situation will change for me where I don't have to take part in the events to commentate. But at the moment, that's the process, and I'm getting it down to a T now. So I don't envisage any problems tonight. The only proviso to that is to make sure that I get back on the bike within a 30-minute period of starting, and thereafter, however long the event goes on, every 30 minutes, to make sure that I'm not kicked from the event. Because if you're not cycling for 30 minutes in an RGT event, you're automatically kicked from it. And it's happened to me a couple of times just through not concentrating on what's been going on. So I'm going to switch to spectate mode, and we'll see if we can't pick up the first rider. Now it's automatically selecting me, but let's see what happens when we... There we go. So we've got George is the first rider off in 4 minutes time. So I'll cover him, leaving the... It just makes it a little bit awkward for me having to concentrate first of all on the riders going off before me, getting the time right, and then having to stop mid-commentary after the initial riders have gone off and get on the bike myself. But it's not a problem. I'm sure we'll handle it with aplomb. And I'm looking forward to this one. I won't know until I see the riders on the road who the potential winner is going to be. I do know a lot of the riders now, so I'm hoping there's a couple taking part that I know. The start list, there's 47 now riders online, but the start list is currently only showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The first 9. I don't know why that is, why there's only 9 showing on screen. Maybe that's the 9 that start before me. I suspect it is, yes. That makes sense because we're starting, yeah. That'll be the 9 that start before me, and then I'm obviously rider number 10 off the line. At least I think so. I'm not sure. No, it can't. No, that can't be right because my time trial doesn't start for 10 minutes. Okay. No, I don't know. Then I don't know why there's only 9 riders showing in the rider list on screen. But everybody have a good ride. I'll cover it to the best of my ability, and 2 minutes to go to the first rider starting. Mr. Lamborn is doing his first TT on RGT. So Steve Smith, if he's taking part, he'll be right up there with the leaders. I'm saying Steve, I think it's Stuart. Oh. So what you will see is out of the pack here, you will see the riders moving forward to the start line to prepare for their personal start. Yeah, and as he mentions in the comments, speed is limited to 10 kilometers until you actually pass the banner and your flying lap starts. We should be starting now. Why aren't we? Come on, fellows. Let's. Can we get an idea of what's happening here? There we go. There's the first rider off. Mr. Bevan. And then 10 seconds later, you're going to have the second rider off. So these are the initial riders. First 2 on the road. Come on. Should be another one starting now. Yep, there we go. And he's away. One. Next one should be starting now. Come on. Strange, it's not 10 seconds. Yeah, there we go. Just to check, we've got Bevan up the front, got Bag quickly catching him, Marley in third position, not place, because remember, people are going off at the order that they arrived. There we go, and there's the next one. The order that they arrived at the start line. So the fastest rider isn't going to be the first one that's up the road. The fastest rider is going to be the fastest time for the course, obviously. And these are the riders currently on the road, with Barg having passed Bevan pretty early in the race. There's Almeida and there's Swallow. Settling into his TT position. And there's Durant. I think I raced against Durant on at the weekend. I think he was in the Flemish for Beginners race. So let's have a look what's happening further up the road. No change in these riders other than Varg is putting out some good power numbers. George. Connor. Huxley. Madden. Howells has just started his race. Quickly underway. Eaton Jones is just starting his race. They're getting quickly underway. Hamilton just underway. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get all the riders starting the time trials, and then once everybody's off the line, we'll there's Walsh. So once everybody's off the line, then we'll start flicking through the field to see what's happening on the road. With it being a 10, I can't cover every metre of every rider. But what we can do is we can do what we're doing here, which is flicking backwards and forwards to see the riders getting started. You can see that he's just 1.1 of a kilometre into his thing. Hitchcock's just starting now. And there goes the next rider on the road. Don't know who this is. Is this... let's see if we can find out. Mackie, that's it. There's our next rider on the road. Hodges. Our next rider. Inman. So Hugon should be next. Yep, there we go. And my time trial is starting in 54 seconds. Shifty. What a name. Mr. Shifty on his way. Mr. Carter. Yeah, you can see me in the rider list now, so I'm not going to miss my start time. We got to have to yeah, Pritchard is next man off. No, Hutchins is. One of these days I'll get the order right. So there's Hutchins. And then Pritchard. So settling into his pace. Oh. Mr. Gordon. Caddies. Yeah, this start list is... Oh, before I started, I need to start. Here we go. So all I need to do is just pedal a few revs just so that the and what I'll do is we'll just, here we go, just make sure that it's showing my power and cadence, which it is now. Yeah, and now I can jump off, park by the side of the road and cover the rest of the race. So there's his leader, but I'm going to come back to the end and go, Mr. Howcroft is currently the last man on the road. Okay, Mr. Ellis has now started his time trial. Come on, who's next rider after Mr. Ellis? No. And Ellis is very quickly catching Howcroft, but he's putting out some good numbers as well. So here's Macaulay. He's putting out good numbers, 5 watt kilo spell there. Some good numbers being put out by some of these later riders, you can see. Willers, he rode last week, I think had a pretty decent time. Luxford underway. As I say, once we've captured all the riders off the line, then we'll start working our way through the field. Because some of the riders will be getting close to the halfway point. Some of the riders up the front end of the race anyway, the faster riders. Okay, how many more have we got to go? Actually, starting his run. Sondergaard. And this is the race organizer, Mr. Smith. Mr. Plum. Mr. Button. Mr. Little. We must be getting towards the end of the field now. Alfin. Aligrius. Lorbeck's just starting his run. Winding it up. Cummins. I think he came in certainly in the top 10 last week. Eaton. Mannion. So last few riders going off now, and then as I say, we'll get back to the action of what's happening in the race. Richo. George. Or Gage, I don't know how to pronounce it. Myself, no. Is that 3 more riders left? Come on, come on. Oh, I'm not sure whether that's the lot. Come on. There's somebody else on the line there, but is he going to be starting? Okay, I'm not going to hang around. I'm going to get back to the front end of the race now and find out. Okay, so Barg, if you remember, was the second rider off, and he passed Bevan pretty much right at the beginning of the race. So he was the second rider on the road, and there was Bevan following him. And you can see there's a rider in the distance. I think it's Jay Trevor, yeah, who's catching up with Bevan too. And then you've got Almeida. Now, what I'll try and do is I'll try and find views for you that show where the riders are in. Here we go. Let's see if we can adjust the view so that we can get the maximum amount of road showing in the picture. That's about right, I think. That will give us a good view up the road as the riders are cycling, maybe. The problem is it's a twisty course, so you can only see so far on the actual road as well. There you can see Swallow is catching George in front of him. And Hamilton, you can see he's got a rider in his sights as well. Easton Jones following up on Hamilton, so there looks like there may be a catch there, unless he's just passed. And then Howells. So what I'm doing here is I'm flicking back a rider at a time. So there we go, 4 in a row. Each time I flick backwards, we get in the view of the next rider behind the previous one. And what this will do is it will show you on the road who's caught who as we quickly flick through up and down the order of the riders. So you'll be able to see, like here, you've got Goff and Durant in the same frame. Now you can see the riders coming the other way that have gone past one of the first turns on the course. So these riders are on the way out, and you've got riders on the other side of the road on the way back. Like so. Shifty, Ellis, Carter, Luxford going past Carter like he stood still. But Luxford is one of the fast men, so expect to see him in the final standings. Macaulay. Croft. So, organizer. I'm very quickly flicking through here because I don't want to miss too much of the action, and I will get all the riders crossing the line, so don't worry, I won't miss any of that action, I promise you. We'll get every rider finishing. And what I have done in the previous couple of weeks is I've actually called out the winning times, even though there's a website which I've access to, but not while the race is going on. So I've called out the winning times in the previous 2 weeks and been spot on with both of them. So expect me to be there or thereabouts. Now, if I call out the winning time, that is not necessarily the winning time. All I'm saying is that I correctly called it. There's room for error. So don't take my calling the winners as gospel, because it may not be the case unless it's by an obvious huge margin. And there's a couple of non-starters, as you can see, and me right at the back. So I'm going to head back to the front of the race. And how far is he? Okay, so he's halfway, just over halfway distance now. He's got 5.1 kilometers to go. and there's nobody in sight behind him. So he's setting a fairly decent marker for the starters. But last week we had Rob Stone. He was right down the field and came in towards the end and absolutely smashed out the winning time. Well, there was two. There was a 22:03 and there was a 23:05. So the 1 and 2 were very, very close. But then the next time was a 23, I think. So there were only two people went under the 23-minute last week. And it could be a similar situation this week. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Okay, I'm going to switch the view around because I actually like to see it from the rider's point of view and up the road so that we can see what they are seeing. So there we go. There's Almeida. Because this is quite a nice view to watch somebody coming up and Walsh is setting a fast pace anyway. Look at his watt kilos. He's putting out 5s and high 4s. So he's having a good TT. You can see him pulling away from Almeida here. Then you've got Marley. George seems to be putting in a nice fast spell. Hamilton. Eaton Jones has got a nice cadence going and can see the rider in front of him just in the distance. So it's always nice, and so can Howell. So it's always nice when you've got a carrot to chase, so to speak. I know from my time trialing days that was the aim. And here comes Snedden, absolutely flying past Swallow. And that's the goal. The goal is to find your marker and see if you can close the gap. Of course, there's no drafting on RGT in the TT mode, so it makes no difference whatsoever if you're coming up towards somebody and you stay behind them for a few seconds because you're not gaining any benefit. Unlike in real life, you're not allowed to do that because you are gaining benefit from the draft of the rider that's in front of you. Although if you're going past them at pace, you don't really want to be staying behind them. And you can see these riders are a further 1.5 kilometers further back from the guy up front when we visited him just recently. So Cadiz looks to be setting a very good pace as well. He's going to come flying past Mackie. A really good pace being set by Cadiz. And he did well last week as well. I remember the name. Yes, I think he was either top 3 or top 4. Now, Mackie, you see, this is the advantage of having people going past you. It can actually help you. It can help you to push along, probably a little bit harder than what you would, just to try and keep the rider that's past you in sight. It's a good tactic. Hodges. Now Durant, and this happened at the weekend as well. He seemed to go through a period where he's just turning the pedals, and looking at his pace here, see how fast Luxford's gone past him. There's an issue here, and I don't know whether it's because he's taken a recovery ride, whether he's got issues. I'm not sure, but good luck, Durant, anyway, on the rest of your ride. But he's being caught by quite a few riders. Ellis is going to go flying past him very shortly. And you've got Gordon coming up behind Ellis. Chins on the road. I do love that name, Shifty. Shifty in English, for those that Europeans or those non-English people that don't understand why I'm laughing at shifty. Shifty is a term used in the UK for a dodgy person. A shifty person, we call them. So that's why I'm laughing at the name. Forgive me, Mr. Shifty. Just having a bit of fun at your expense. Some good racing going on here. Nice tight catches. Nice to see the different kits as well. I think RGT have done a particularly good job with the team kit. None more so than my own Team 3R kit, which looks absolutely stunning. It's a very, very good representation of the real life kit. It looks exactly like the real life kit. Now, Sondergaard was flying earlier. Is he still? Oh, Alfin's putting out more power in front of him. I think Alfin had a good finish last week as well. Then you've got Hutton and Little. Now, I'm not sure which is the leader and which is the chaser here. I suspect Little, looking at the figures, is leading out Hutton and has probably just passed him. And then you've got Plum coming up behind the two of them. Cummins. So Orm's just reaching the halfway banner. The yellow banner is the halfway point. I'm going to need to get back to the front end now, so I'm just going to get the last two riders on the road. Mannion is the last rider on the road because obviously I'm not taking part in the race. And now we'll get back to the front end of the race. And here comes Bag, just coming over the line. Let's see if we can call his time. 23:34. And we've got Walsh coming to the 1 kilometre. So 23:34 currently in the lead. Just check who's behind him. Walsh is next rider on the road. Now, sometimes riders will finish next to each other and I can't individually call out both, but so take the time of the one that I do call out. The other rider will be very, very close within a second or two. So Walsh is coming up to the line, and this is a fast time. This is a very fast time. This is going to be possibly a 21. Looking at the distance he's got to go, 400 meters. No, yeah, it's going to be a 21, definitely. So this could well be in for the win. This is definitely going to be a 21-minute ride. Here we go. Come on, lad. Come on, keep it going. Great ride. This is faster than last week's ride, winning ride, and that was superb. 10. 21:18, I'm calling. So 21:18 in the lead at the moment. We've got Trevor. He's going to do about a 24:35. 36. Okay, we got, what's happened to Almeida? There's Almeida. Okay. So 21:18 currently in the lead. As I say, that's provisional. That's just my estimation of the finishing time, but I think you'll find I'm pretty close. This will be a 25 from Almeida. Come on, keep it going. And that'll be a 25.15. And then you've got Bevan coming in. 26.49. And then George coming in. 21.18 is particularly fast time on this course. And then we've got for 25.21 and Hamilton I didn't catch the time, sorry Hamilton. Eaton Jones. 24.37. Marley with a 27.44. Hitchcock with a 23.58. As I say, these are all provisional times. I'm only calling them just for the thing, but actually I'll stop calling unless the time is going to... Whoa, look at Cadiz. Now, no idea. I couldn't switch in time to catch Cadiz, so no idea what his time is. I'm sorry. Wow. Inman. No, that can't be a proper time. 17 minutes? Nah, that can't be possible. I'm going to have to replay this to catch that time because I don't believe Inman's time there. 17 minutes? That's world class. There's something seriously wrong with that time. Cadiz completely caught me by surprise there. I wasn't ready for, because what I have to do is I have to press a button to switch riders to the next rider on the road. And so if somebody's coming up fast like Cadiz did there, it's difficult to see in the rider list. Here we go, we've got another one, look. So switching to Goff, and Goff has done a 25. Swallow has done a 27. So it's very difficult to get. I mean, Luxford, I'll get his time, and this is a fast time. If you discount the 17-minute time, which I think is off, then this will be second place, and it'll be a 22.25. And Mackie comes in with a 25. Hodges comes in with a 25. Ellis is coming in with a 23. And then Huxley behind him, but Ellis with a 23.31. Huxley coming in not far behind him. In terms of distance, not in terms of time, obviously, he's coming in with a 27, possibly a 28. Some interesting racing at the moment. We have what I think is a clear winner with 21.18. I don't believe the 17-minute time at all, and I'm pretty sure it'll be disqualified. It's a 28 for Huxley. Gordon with a 24. Farrell. We might just make a 23. Keeps it going. It's putting in big numbers. Come on, come on. You can get that 23. 200 meters to go. Yes, he'll get the 23-minute time. In time trialing, what we have is when it comes to the times, you call out the minute, and then it's a short, medium, or long. Now the short time, here comes Vilas in a 24. So this would be classed as, he's coming in at 24.15. That would be classed, 25. That would be classed as a short. This would be classed as a long because he came in 25.50s. This would be classed as a long. 22.28 for the man behind. So good ride. Corley. .25. Smith comes in with a 23. Howcroft coming in with a 25. If he can make the line in time, I think he can. Just about make a 25. There you go, look. Now that's what we call a long 25. Howcroft, come on, switch for me. Who's next? Durant is obviously being caught by, there's Shifty coming in with a 27. Sunderland coming in with a 24. Durant coming in with a 30. As I say, I think he's just ridden round. Either that or he's using it as a training ride. Little, he's going to get a 24. Be a short, what we call a short 24. And then Cummins, so there's Little going over the line, 24.19. Cummins, he's going to get a 23. Now this will be a long, because as you can see he's over the 30-second mark, so we call this a long. 23. And he comes in at 23.44, give or take. Plum with a 24, a long 24. Hutton it's trying for a long 24. Can he make it? Come on, lad. Come on, just make it. Come on. 56, 57, 58. Just made it to my calculation. Well done. Carter coming in with a 28. Lorbecky, now this is a good ride, 24.30. Huggin, he'll have a 29. Yeah, you see Stuart Smith is actually asking Inman, is his turbo set up right? Because he realises that the time set by Inman, the 17-minute time, Richo is doing a short 24. This is a good ride. That's a good ride. And then you've got Heaton. But as regard the 17-minute time by Inman, both myself and Stuart realise that there's something wrong with his turbo or his setup, because that's just not, that's the kind of time you would see from the likes of Geraint Thomas or Bradley Wiggins, a 17-minute time. You wouldn't see that from a leisure rider. Sorry, but it's just not going to happen. So last few riders coming in now. I'm just going to get on the bike and we'll just try and spin the pedals to make sure I'm not kicked out. So here comes Heaton and then Bagshaw. Heaton over the line. Bagshaw over the line. I'm just spinning the pedals to make sure I'm not kicked out of the event. There we go. And then and then we've got Allegria. And what we'll do, there we go, there's Allegria's coming home, and then Orm. As soon as we get the last rider over the line, I'll fire up the website for the official results. and we'll confirm the top 3 places for you. I can do that very quickly by going to the results website. Forget the 17-minute, that's not going to count. I can assure you Stuart is not going to let that stand. At least, well, I can only speak for myself, and as an organizer, I certainly would not let it stand, because it's just unrealistic. This might be the last ride. Oh no, Mannion's the last rider coming home. So we've got Mr. Gage is going to do a 27, and then last rider home is Mannion, and he don't think he's going to make a 27, so he's going to be a 28, I suspect. 400 meters to go. Yeah, he should make it. Should just about make a 28 with a bit of luck. Come on, Mannion. Push those pedals around. Get this last 300 meters done in a minute. You can feel the struggle. I wish I was fit enough to take part and do these races. Just, I might do one weekend. You never know. Anyway, here he is. He's going to get his 28. So well done, Mannion. Last man on the road. And of course, there's me, but I'm not taking part. So that's the last rider over the line. So what we're going to do now is, while everybody's lined up, I'm going to quickly go to the results website and give you the 1, 2, 3. So just bear with me while I fire up the web browser. There we go. There's the event website, and there's the results. Oh, not showing yet. Okay. Just okay. Sometimes the results are almost immediate. You can get them as the race is happening. Obviously, not tonight and not this race. So I'm going to call the 21:18 as the winning time, and we'll leave it at that, and then come back later to check the final results and see what happens with the 17-minute time. I'm just going to message now and say okay. There we go. So I'm going to call it a night. Get off, and thanks for watching. For those of you that come back to the video a bit later on to tune in to see the race, hope you enjoy it. Please give me a thumbs up, a like, and if you subscribe, you'll have access to a lot more content which is up and coming on RGT, and it will certainly help me grow the channel. So hit that like button, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Good night and stay safe.